Dionne C. Good morning, Facebook. This is Dionne C. Monsanto. I am the Chief Joy Connector, Life Transformation Coach, and I'm really excited to be here. Wherever you are in the world, I know when I joined from Facebook, I'm in my bed, or getting ready, whatever you're doing. And I hope if you're listening to this later on as a live stream, you can do that. Listen from your bed, on your phone. I've even listened from the shower. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. But there's always room for you in the Zoom room. We like having you in the Zoom room, Facebook. Or as my auntie says the Facebooks. It has to have a S on the end of it. My auntie goes, "You're not gonna put my picture on the Facebooks, are you?" I'm like, no ma'am, I'm not putting your picture on the Facebooks. So I don't know about y'all having elders in your family that are just like, don't have my picture out there. Good morning, Zoom room. I see you, Abimbola, Zaria. Happy to have you here with us. Can you believe it's day 403? Shawnee done had a baby and it's over a year old. We love that baby. Hey, Marie. Hi, Afriye. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Peace and blessings, Dionne.
Peace and blessings. Every time I see your name, I always think about, I was like, where's my cake?
Well, all right, babe, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna call you later.
All right. Hey, Kaisha. Who you gonna call later, girl?
Peace and blessings, Coach Monsanto.
I'm off mute. Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning. No worries, no worries. I make sure I have my Zoom set up that I always come in on mute because I don't know what I'll be doing. So good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Zoom. If I didn't say your name here in the Zoom room, forgive me. Oh yeah, I see Kaisha and Gina. Trying to make sure I acknowledge each and every one of you. But if you didn't hear your name, you are in my heart. So happy to be here with you today. Day 403. My name is Dionne C. Monsanto, the Chief Joy Connector, and we will be sharing space for the next 90 minutes or so. Hey, Althea. You know you can still come into the Zoom room if you're on the Facebooks. If you missed my corny joke about my auntie, I'm saying Facebooks because my great aunt says Facebooks with an N, with an S at the end. She doesn't like the idea of social media, and she always tells us, you better not put my picture on the Facebooks. So that's from my great aunt. I know it's Facebook. But good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here. And no, I'm not a morning person. I had my cup of coffee already. Hi, Wendy. Recording. Yeah, Facebook is gonna make sure you know you're being recorded. I'm glad y'all are okay with that. Good morning as you join on Facebook.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Dionne C. Monsanto, the Chief Joy Connector. My business name is Joyous Ocean, and it is generally my come from. I am happy to have you here with me on Facebook and Zoom on day 403 in the Wake Up Everybody virtual community. My topic today starts off with something that I believe most of us can connect to: overwhelmed and overcommitted. I wind up selecting these titles from conversations I have with friends, family, and clients. Like there's a general vibe that happens synergetically within an area of what's going on and people feeling overwhelmed and feeling overcommitted. So I wanted us to clear and find a way how you can create space for you, because you are the most important thing in your life. So how you can create space for you in a chaotic environment. And that is so much of what life feels like nowadays. Things are changing on a daily basis. And I guess that has been the case always, but it's a new paradigm shift for us, or not particularly new since it's been over a year. As I said a little earlier, since it's day 403, we have this new virtual community that didn't exist, being on Zoom and Google Meet and Microsoft Teams, and then the world opening up and closing. And what do I do? How can I be all the places? I didn't clone myself, so how can I show up and be 3 places at the same time? If you're anything like me, I know you've done it before. You've been on one Zoom on your laptop, and then you've been on another Zoom on your phone, because now you could be in 2 places at once, but somehow it's pulling us apart, feeling disconnected. You know, I want to show up and be fully present. If I'm here with you, then I'm going to be here with you. And that's what it was even before cell phone technology. So how can you find space for yourself in a chaotic environment? And a part of it, I put down a few things for us to talk about. Good morning as you're coming in on Facebook and here on Zoom. What it is, there are several things, and hopefully I'll get to all 5. I try to keep things relatively simple and then being something you can hold in the palm of your hands. So 1 to 5 things, and hopefully something will land with you, will resonate with you. You can grab a pen and paper if you so choose, and definitely grab a water. Start hydrating, people, start hydrating. We need to stay hydrated. Get your water. You know, I had my coffee, so now I got my water. So part of it is self-awareness. So in order to not feel overwhelmed and overcommitted, there's a level of awareness that it's helpful to have about yourself without diving deep into each of the areas. Say it's boundaries, self-awareness. I have a hashtag that I use all the time with success requires planning. So planning. I do like to multitask, but quite often they say you can only do one thing at a time. And somehow it feels clearer when you show up in the space and you're just here. Like I'm present with you and we're sharing this space now, and I'm not doing anything else but being with you. So looking at those things and saying like, okay, I'm going to make up a number, 20 things to do, but all I can do at this point in time, right here and now, is this thing. And then I will go to the next thing, and identifying what that is. Looking at bite-sized chunks, 1 to 5 things, something that feels tangible, something that feels like you can hold it in your hand. And it gives us this feeling of power. You know, there's a lot, we love feeling like we control something. I got on this morning and it seemed like my internet didn't come on. And I'm like, oh no, what happens if the internet goes out? And it's like, I can't control that. But we try to figure out ways and create backup plans. And then a nice thing that I think is helpful is accountability. Sharing what has to get done, what needs to get done, how you're feeling with someone. Quite often, I see it within the Wake Up Everybody virtual community that they're sharing. We're in community in that group. People will share and check in. How are you doing? What's going on? What are you up to? How are you feeling? How's your heart? You can share what you're up to. Quite often, when I'm feeling a certain way and I share it with someone, they come back with, you know, I was feeling the same way too. And you'll connect on that and it helps feel good. So just starting with the topic of overwhelmed and overcommitted, I'll give you a moment and I'll share as I give you a moment to type in the chat, what are some things that bring you to a space of feeling overwhelmed and overcommitted? And you can type that in the chat. So for me, when I have a talk and like last night, if you saw the video I put in the Facebook group, I was teaching and I realized I didn't tell you guys I was going to talk this morning. I didn't do the video and I still needed to get home and I have this heat rash and I didn't finish my laundry and, you know, I wanted to make a bath and da-da-da. So somehow or another, it starts steamrolling into these things of like, oh, I need to do this. And I'm supposed to have a meeting at 11. And am I prepared for that meeting? And all of a sudden, this like anxiety, you might not see it, but it feels like there's a jitter and a shake of what's happening. So that's a little of what brings me to that space. So I will stop and take a deep breath and remind myself, what is it that I can do now? What will bring me peace? What will soothe my heart? So I do see, I'm not sure if anyone typed anything, and so I'll pause to see if you can share for me, Kenyofu, if anything has come up in the chat or if anything has come up on Facebook of what brings you to a space of feeling overwhelmed.
Okay, so I have one and it looks like others are dropping in now. Maria says, saying yes when I mean no, I don't want to. And Zakia says, snowball effect, everything piles up on top of itself.
I resemble both of those. I definitely get that. And one of the things I listed were boundaries. And I would say with boundaries, it took me some time. I don't know if you've read the book by Shonda Rhimes, A Year of Yes. And I felt like when I read that book, it's like, I get it, but I've been the person similar to what she said that has been saying yes when I really wanted to say no. So I started saying, let me get back to you. Let me think on it, allowing myself a pause before I said yes to really reflect on what would serve me best and how I can give from my overflow. And that was a really fun example. Thank you for sharing that about yes, because my coffee cup, don't engage with cray cray. It's a good reminder that I like. I make this smoothie in the morning, and why I'm giving you this little story now is I blend it. It's a superfood coffee smoothie, right? So I got hemp seeds and sea moss, cacao with coffee, and I blend it up. So it's my vegan cappuccino. And I made too much this morning. So when I was pouring it in from the blender, it almost overflowed. And it reminded me, because when I looked at my notes, I had not written this down, to share with you that when we give, when we say yes, we should give from our overflow. So we have to fill our cup and have enough left over to give. And those yeses come from that space. I'm going to let that marinate because I see other things popping up in the chat. that can be shared, and maybe something on Facebook as well.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement you just said. Kaisha adds, I feel overwhelmed when my to-do list begins to get long. Some events overlap at the same time. And Jacqueline says, when I put off work that I need to do, I get this agitated feeling in my core. It leads to anxiety and sometimes a panic attack. I do not like feeling that I have a lot to do. I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time, and I am that person who works under pressure. I've not learned to work when I have an abundance of time. Wendy shares, overcommitment. Sorry, somebody needs to be muted.
Thank you.
Wendy's getting back to my place. Overcommitment, when I promise to do things for others when I'm already full of things to do. And
Thank
that's
you.
it.
All right. Thank you for all of that, Kenyofu. Those are really good ones. And I definitely have a very dear friend that always works really well under pressure. And that's something that holds space in for her when she's like, oh, I can't do it until then. And what I'll often say, and what I've said to her, I was like, that's a great example. What I did for myself and what I offered to her, and I have to check in with her to see if she still does that and if it works, is give yourself a false deadline. So tell yourself, if it's, today is August 31st. The year is going by so fast. It is August 31st, people. So if it's due on September 7th, and I'm giving this as an example because I am a sponsor with an organization, and I have a deadline of September 7th. So I have put it on my calendar and I've put reminders on it. So I see it every day as a reminder from September 1st through September 6th. And it says, I don't remember what I wrote, but it's something to the effect of add deadline, September 7th, add deadline, September 7th. So it's like knocking me in the head, and I put it in a different color because sometimes what I feel with myself, I'm a slow starter because I'm like, oh, I got time. September 7th, like that's a waste. I got time. And then I'm like, oh, but it's September 6th. I ain't never done no ad before. How am I do this ad? Am I gonna do it in Canva? What's it supposed to look like? So planting that seed for myself now and thinking about it. And now this may sound, for lack of a better term, this may sound morbid, but having dealt with so much death in my life, I have also come to the belief of that there are some deadlines that if I miss, it's okay. I literally say to myself, nobody's gonna die. And I actually took some time to look up, and this, I don't know if this resonates with anyone, because I was like, why do they call it a deadline? It's not a deadline. Ain't nobody gonna die. It's not a deadline. So apparently, I forget what year it was, but in war times, they would be a shooting line. Literally, there were people that used to be this, sorry, people bringing up all this sort of stuff, but we're going back in history, that they would line people up. And at that line is that they would be shot. So I'm like, I'm not gonna get shot. Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if I don't make this deadline? And so that gives me a sense of ease. No one is going to die. So if I deem it as important, I can make time for it and look at, I've got but so many hours with my self-awareness and what works for me. Now I see other things popping up in the chat, so I want to pause and see what else is being said, Kenyofu.
Fair enough. Teresa says, when I don't surrender stuff to God and try to take on things that I can't fix. And Jacqueline says, I keep trying that being the creating false deadline, but she knows there's a false deadline. Althea says, being a yes person, despite not having time to do, not having time, to-do list becomes overwhelming. Avoiding deadlines causes anxiety and self-sabotage.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
Kaisha says, yes, that attitude comes from grieving. Everything else becomes less important.
Mhm.
Shawnee says, I don't use the term deadline, I say lifeline. Declaring when I will complete a project with ease and integrity gives me life.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that, Shawnee. And thank you, everyone. There is something, I have a couple of groups. I love being in community. So something that I have added, and I would love to give credit to the person I got this from, but I don't recall where it came from. But it was a feeling. I had generally have little index cards and I would write things on them and goals. And I figure index cards are small and I write big. If I were to show you my notebook sitting next to me, it really looks like graffiti. If there's 75 lines on a page, I can only fit 10 because I write for the person, like for Mr. Magoo to read it. If you're old enough to remember Mr. Magoo, I'm dating myself. But I add the term with ease to it. So my theme actually for this week and for a period of time, it was productivity with ease. So I'm going to do what needs to be done with ease. And when I plan on my calendar, there are chunks. So I love using my calendar and I love color. So I will color code things and it'll say in there, and I'll leave an empty block knowing that something might take longer, knowing that something else may come up. I think all of us have lived long enough to know there's going to be an emergency. There's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to need your time, and it will cause you to reprioritize some other things. So it does not behoove me to say, okay, I'm going to be on Wake Up Everybody community from 7 to 8:30. And then I'm going to have a meeting at 8:30 and at 9:30 and at 11, and then yoga at 12 because I have to move my body. And then another meeting at 1. I mean, that is not truly what my calendar looks like, but giving you that idea, I've got to fit space in there and allow it to be open. And seeing and feeling that open space allows me to sit and breathe. And maybe I can slide in meditation. Maybe I can slide in a walk. Maybe I can slide in a phone call to someone whose voice I wanted to hear, to reach out and touch with someone. So creating that space. So I will pause again because I love y'all are talking in the chat again. And I'm not sure if anything came up on Facebook, but please feel free to interject after the chat if something did come up on Facebook.
Facebook would generally be dropped in the chat, so I think they must be quiet because Charmaine has not dropped anything.
Okay.
And so Jacqueline here says, I do better when I do small chunks each day that I write on my calendar. I miss some items, but I move them to the next day and at times. I have to forgive myself, but because I put things off, I now have a hard lifeline.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Althea says that's enlightening, Shawnee.
Yeah. Lifelines are good. All of you are lifelines for me. This community is a lifeline. But so looking at that, so coming back to your boundaries, how many of you are aware of what you need to pull yourself out of that space of overwhelm? Like giving examples. For me, in that space of overwhelm, I have to stop and take a breath. I have to look at the hours of the day. And if there's 25 things on the list, look at, again, manageable. Something I can hold in my hand. I'm blocking my face so you get this concept of what can you hold in your hand? What can you hold in your hand? Pick 1 to 5 things and look at those and go, okay, I can do this today. And when I do one thing, it gives me, it's almost like a flutter of excitement of completion. There's just this feeling, it's a gush. It's almost like when you see a friend and you give them a hug and it's like, ooh, that felt good. And then I look and see, okay, I did one thing, what else? And I give myself permission not to complete the list. So how many of you know what pulls you out of that space? It could be a show of your what do you call it? The Zoom raise hand feature. How many of you know what that is? Because in my list, I know I have to put music on. Anytime I come speaking to you, I've got a speaker sitting a little over to the side here. There's music blasting just before we come on. It blasts me out of bed. And music, well, I have hashtags for everything. Music is my health care. Because there was a period of time I didn't have health insurance. So music was the health care. I'm going to dance. I listen to the music. And what are the things? Oh, I see that in there, Zaria, that you do the same. You make a list and pick your top 3. What can I get done? And then do something else. And then maybe moving it over to the side. So while you're thinking about that, if you know what it is, and for folks, if you don't know what things can pull you out of a funk or pull you out of overwhelm, I invite you to make that a priority over this next week, to start thinking about it. Is it calling a friend? Is it calling an elder? Is it going for a walk? Is it taking a shower? I feel like water is magic for so many things. Drinking water, taking a shower or a bath, to immerse in water. How people would say, you have to, there was an old saying about washing something, washing something out of your hair, literally cleaning yourself. So however it is, if you don't know what that thing is, finding that thing is crucial. Music and movement make a difference. Things physically, as a yoga teacher, some of you know I'm also a yoga teacher and a dance teacher. Physically moving something out of your body, having a dance break. I will have a dance break, and I may or may not put it on social media, but there are dance breaks that happen quite often. In a class or in my home, putting music on. The first dance is to wiggle myself out of bed. And because for me, an unmade bed calls me back. So pulling the covers up, because otherwise I feel like the bed is calling me all day. But like, girl, don't you want to come back? I say, I do, but not now. I got stuff to do. And having conversations and talking. So let me go to the list. So if you are taking notes, boundaries, self-awareness, and with your boundaries, knowing that saying yes to others is often saying no to yourself. So whether, I know all of you are on mute, if you're in a space where you can say that to yourself, it really helps me to repeat things as I am talking to myself. When I go, saying yes to others is often saying no to me. So if you have the space to repeat that to yourself or write it down, and if you're not in the space to write it down, you can always come back to this recording. And I'm gonna say it one more time for good measure. Saying yes to others is often saying no to yourself. And in this space of self-care and self-awareness, hopefully just saying that reminds you that you can say no to someone else, or not now, or let me think about it. And when I shared that example physically from this morning and pouring my coffee smoothie, how Kinyofu said that was a powerful statement, to give from your overflow. So you've got to fill your cup. I filled my cup and there was a little bit left in the pitcher, and that was my reminder. So as I give to you, I have for me as well. If you've ever been on an airplane, in that emergency thing before we take off or as we're taking off, they say in the case of emergency, you have to take that oxygen mask and you have to give it to yourself first before you can give to someone else. So even if you're traveling, with a small child or an elder, you have to care for yourself. You have to put that oxygen mask on for you before you can give to your elders. So again, saying yes to others is often saying no to yourself. So, and as you write your list down, because I do love writing, I have several journals and notebooks, you might be able to sit and look at that. And it's not exactly a meditation, but deciding, how much of this can get done? And if you decide that something doesn't have to get done, you can reassess. And if you are committed to keeping your word, I like to believe that I am a woman of my word. You can always change your word. I can go back to you. It's like I'm looking, I see Shawnee. So I can look at Shawnee and say, you know, Shawnee, I did say I was going to do X, but something has come up. So I want to honor this by saying to you, I want to reassess what I'm doing. And perhaps we can do that on another date. And the other person, sometimes when I've done that with people, they've actually said, "Oh, girl, I was going to cancel with you too, but I didn't want to cancel." And it winds up being, again, synchronicity or synergy, because you had the self-love, self-care, and honoring that there's something going on. And let's just call it. Let's not ignore that elephant in the room. Let's have a conversation. And then with self-awareness, I actually know how much water I need, how much sleep I need. During this pandemic, I thought I was good on self-awareness, and I got better. I got to the point where I knew that if I didn't do, I had a list of 5 things, and if I didn't do 2 or 3 from that list, the next day wasn't going to be good. There were going to be some tears, there were going to be some anger, there was going to be an outburst, there would be something that I would feel was not coming from my higher self. So it helped me to meditate, to hydrate, to take a shower, to leave the house. And I'm forgetting my 5th thing, because now that we leave the house more often, but there were 5 things on that list. And I started assessing, because when I had an open quote, bad day or rough day, I sat down to reflect. What happened yesterday? Why was today bad? Did I get enough sleep? Did I exercise? Did I go for a walk? And then I started to look, and I'm like, oh, I consistently have really rough days when I don't do certain things. And I'm not going to get into judging whether people take showers every day or not. That's none of my business. But knowing, for me, that's helpful. The water is cleansing as I drink it and as I bathe in it. So I see the chat popping and popping. Is there something to share, Kenyofu?
Yes, so Teresa says, you taught me to write things down, and that helped me so much. And Zaria says, I do the same. I make a list and pick my top 3. So John Carl from Facebook adds, no one is going to die. Love it. Teresa says, giving myself grace. Athea says, music, dancing, movement helps. Steel, sharpen steel. Love. Says, that's Jim. Saying yes to others is saying no to me. And Tracy Ann says, I write everything down. If I don't do it, everything on it, I get in fuck it mode, because I can only do one thing at a time. If I lose focus, I take a break and talk to a friend or dumb out somehow. Jacqueline says, yes to Tracy Ann, but my dumb down can be too long. Abimboa, my to-do list contains 3 columns, now, later, and a checkbox. Right?
Yeah.
Jacqueline says, when I get off track, I stay off way too long. In my opinion, I start to feel down on myself at times. And Zacchaeus says, me too, Jackie, that self-flagellation thing is hard to stop. I'm called to bring somebody into the space, and maybe Tracy Ann will be that person.
Okay.
Tracy Ann, can you come off of mute? Might not be able to. I'm just randomly sharing or requesting.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, so Sweetness drops in a chat. Okay, so welcome to Sweetness.
Okay. So what I will say, because I loved, someone said, I don't know if it was Tracy Ann or Jacqueline, about their list. They get off track and they stay off track too long in terms of coming back to things. I'm also a big fan of timers. Can I tell you, since I have these little mini things, some people have Alexa, some people have, whatever these smart home devices are, and you can set timers. I set a timer. I decide for myself, it's like, okay, I need a break. How long of a break do I need? I will play Scrabble with my on my phone. I have Scrabble, and I will use that, and I'll play Scrabble for a little while, and then like the timer will go off, and I'm like, okay, I gave myself a break. I feel like it's a little kid. I don't know how you were. I remember being in church on Sunday with my grandmother. You get antsy in my chair. I start wiggling, and then grandma pulls out the little mint with the thing, and then hand me the mint so I could unroll the mint and pop the candy in my mouth and sit still for a while. That was me and my grandmother. May she rest in peace. And so that timer, giving myself 5 minutes of play or that 5 minutes of dance, then I was like, okay, I go back to work. But I feel like I am managing my inner child, and I give her some time to play, and then she'll let me work. And even before we came into the space, I told the team here, I was like, my inner child runs my life. She don't know I'm over 50. She's clear. We are 5 years old, and we gonna play. And if we don't play, I'm shutting everything down. There's gonna be a tantrum, like stuff ain't happening. You know, in my brain, I'm cussing, but she like, we are not doing that. Like, think of it, when you're around children, when they are done, everything is done. I'll say it again. So I don't know how old your inner child is, but my girl is 5, and she like, no, you don't have me working all day. You kept me up late last night, and now you got me up this morning. You ain't give me no breakfast. You gave me some coffee and some water, and now you want me to do what? No, I'm not. What we say down south, right? I'm not fitting to do all that. I'm not fitting to do all that. So having that conversation with yourself to be like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm gonna have this conversation, and we're going to see. So let me see. I want to see how many people we have here. Oh, this is great. There's over 20. Oh, go ahead.
All right, before you do that, can we bring Jacqueline in to comment on her time?
Oh, yeah.
I love that idea. I'm still laughing. Because my inner child just be kicking my butt. She be kicking
You know how old she is, girl? How old is she?
About 7. She's smart. She got a lot of attitude. I gotta put her in check. She just be running things. You're right. You're right. I'm so glad you said that, because it puts it in another perspective for me. And I think I can talk to myself in that way. I think I can get her to calm down after a while. Give her a minute. Thank you.
They do, because I mean, I don't know, all of us are not parents. I think so many of us, whether we have given birth to a child, we're raising children, we're aunties, we're godmothers, godfathers. In some space, we're co-parenting in community, whether it is our child or not. So in being in community with myself, it will be like, I will have a conversation. People, you talk to yourself, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be with me for a long time, I hope. So I better be able to talk to me. It's like, Dionne, girl, this is what we're gonna do today. Really? Yeah, this is what we're gonna do today. So you, Jacqueline, thank you for sharing that, having that conversation. So we can have a play date. Your 5-year-old, my 7-year-old. This is cool. I think, you know what? I think everybody needs to figure out how old their inner child is. I really want to hear about that. I'm looking forward to seeing that on Facebook. If you could pop it in the chat now, how old is your inner child? But the timers, I have timers for everything. I'm all over the place. My brain thinks in a circle. So I know the day goes on and time keeps moving forward, but something will trigger something, and I'll go to that next thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, what was I doing? I got to come back to that thing. I'm doing, okay. But Teresa, I see your hand up.
He's laughing on here about the inner child. And I just want to tell you thank you, because my inner child, I grew up believing that I couldn't do a lot of things. So my thing is fighting, like, Teresa, you could do it. So, I got to tell myself, girl, you could do it. So when I write stuff down, then that helps me, so, but that was so funny, because it is true. It's like, there's always something in the back of my head saying, oh, that's too much. And I'm like, no, it's not. It is not too much. And when I do it, then I'd be so happy that I did some stuff. So I'm fighting I'm fighting the word it's too much. And so I got to keep on telling myself, girl, it's not too much. You could do it. You could handle it. So that just gave me so much joy, just seeing you about talking to yourself like that. And I had to come on video, because that was so funny. Thank you so much for sharing that, because that's true. My inner child be like, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. And so I got to say, baby, I know you don't want to do it, but it's time to work. And then when I'm writing stuff down, that really helps. Like writing stuff down. And like I said, and if I don't finish everything on my list, but when I do, I did 3. I had a list of 8 things and I did 3. And I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I did 3 things on that list. And I was like, yes, girl, you did 3 things on that list. And I was clapping for myself. So that's something else, so, that we can add. Just start clapping for yourself. You do something. Don't beat yourself up. So I'm complete. That was so good. Thank you so much for that laugh.
You're welcome. I mean, I laugh at myself. My partner, I mean, my friends are always like, you're a funny woman. I'm like, what I say that's so funny? I'm like, this is really how I manage my life. I'm not making this up. And I'm just from the corner of my eye, seeing ages pop up in the chat. I see the youngest as being 4 years old and the oldest is 8. So there's some young folks in here. I love it. And then I do see one, and I don't know if you want to chat about it, but I see that Sweetness said that she was grown from birth. My son is that way. He's 28 years old, going on 75. But I was grown from birth, Sweetness said, so she really doesn't see the age of her inner child. That's something to work with. And you could pick one, girl, and try it on. You could pick an age and try it on. You can decide, you know what? I'm gonna be a teenager. And what does it mean? Because being a teenager, that means you get to have all the attitude in the world, or being an elder. Because I felt like if you pick 75, you get to be like, I'm not doing that. Because when an elder tells you no, you like, oh, yes, ma'am. However you feel about it, you go, okay. When a child tells you no, then you want to negotiate with them. But you could pick that. So I am going to pause because I really want to give. I'm looking at the chat and I see there's over 20 of us here, and I want to give you some time in the sandbox together. So I reframe things, and because it's my inner child, and I remember the sandbox and getting in trouble because trying to get sand out of our hair was work. So my mama was upset because I'm the one that came in with dirty jeans and dirty sneakers and a mess in my hair, and then my hair would need to be redone. So we're gonna go in the sandbox, which will be breakout rooms, so we can be in community with each other. And each of us, we should have about 3 minutes each, because I wanna make sure we have about 10 minutes to go away and come back. So you get to come back before 8, so I can bid you farewell. So in the sandbox, in the breakout rooms, there will be 3 of you, hopefully. And each of you will have about 2 or 3 minutes to share something you're working on and how you'll get over it. So you're sharing what you're working on, because again, we're looking at how we can find ourselves in this chaotic environment. So in these breakout chunks, you can share 1 thing or 2 things and share your age. And then you have a little bit of an accountability partner. If you guys want to, if I always say guys, but if everyone, people, ladies, men, people want to share information on how to connect on Facebook or personally. So when you come back, say, you know what? Let's say I'm in the sandbox with Kaisha. It's like, I'm going to work on this ad that's due September 7th. And I'm going to have a first draft, and I'm going to show you what my draft looks like by September 5th. So that's a chunk that you're going to work on. So you can pick a big thing and break it down, but we're going to pop into the sandbox. Each person should have about 2 or 3 minutes each, and then we'll come back just before 8 so we can chat about that before everybody goes off where they need to go, and then we'll stay. But we're going to play in the sandbox because my lovely Kinyofu is going to work on those groups. Does anybody have questions before we pop into the sandbox breakout rooms?
All right. So the rooms, I'm settling the rooms. They were set, and then we have people that bounce, and then people coming in. So
it can be messy. The sandbox is messy. I was obsessing over my bun this morning, trying to get it right, and then we decided that the messy bun is going to work. So messy works.
all right, so we have 3 people in most rooms, 4 in some rooms. I'm hoping everybody is going to be present, and 10 minutes in the room. Let Zoom pull you out. I'm opening rooms now. There are a handful of people here.
All right, thank you so much.
Sure.
All right. Nice. So who do we have here with us in this room?
So we have two of me,
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's us.
Charmaine, Shawnee, and Veronica.
Okay, so just to keep this going, I don't know if anyone here wants to share from the sandbox, something on their list, some things they're working on. The ad deadline I gave y'all as an example is a real thing. And I'm like, okay, I really do want to get this done and decide what my ad will be, and get that done. Hey, Veronica, what you got
Hi.
in the sandbox, girl?
I'm thinking about a whole lot of things. My sandbox is overflowing.
How blessed are you?
Oh, I don't know if it's a blessing.
Mhm.
Okay, so do I start? Why do I
Yeah.
have to be the first one? Okay.
Well, I gave you mine already. You don't have to be the first one because mine is
Okay, so
ad. And I want to make sure I have a draft no later than the 4th or the 5th. So then I can play with it and then actually meet the deadline of the 7th. That's the big thing I'm working on that I've been putting off. So
okay.
what are your top 3 things and how can we support breaking it down?
Top three things. Number one is I'm close to finding a plan for a house that I want to have put down. And I have to leave next week to go get the land cleaned, which I have to do periodically, and see a builder. And I've been procrastinating all summer about doing that. And also I've been sitting down making a list. Actually, I started the list yesterday as a vendor. I become a vendor over COVID. And I was making a list of all the things that I should start to make to sell for Christmas
Oh.
and how they should look. So I made the list. And so I'm a serial procrastinator. So I usually wait till like a week before, and then I start to pull out what little hair I have to try to get it together. And so that's two of the 10. So I'm gonna stop there.
Girl, those are definitely blessings, and we need to have a wake up everybody community on your land when you get this land together and clear it, because that sounds super exciting and what you've created. So I am going to frame it as a blessing for you. And what I'm saying is thinking, who do you have in the sandbox with you that you partner with that can nudge you? Who's the person, it used to be my mama that used to tap me and go, girl, you're going to be late. Girl, you got to get up. You're going to be late. Getting out of bed was the big thing for me. So who can tap you on your shoulder and push those deadlines up? Who can you play in the sandbox with?
In my family, nobody has the same vision I have for the property. 21 acres, and I've been spending my money cleaning it all the time. And that's not a little bit of money to get it cleared off regularly. It could range from $1,500 to $2,000 just to get somebody to clean it. So I am the one, like I've been praying for somebody to join me in the sandbox.
Ashe. And it
they all
sounds like
but they don't come in.
Your tribe may or may not be your family. Shawnee and I for years have been a part of another tribe called Fast Girls. And there's nobody in that tribe that I am related to blood-wise. And I have found that finding your tribe may be someone here on Facebook, like I'm surveying land, I'm trying to figure this out, who's done this before. And we generally will pop in conversation to see who's doing this. I need help with that. So finding your tribe may not be your blood family. I 100%, it resonates what you're saying with me, because my blood family doesn't play the same way or plan the same way that I do. So, finding your tribe and hanging out with the surveyor and finding those friends in, that vision or project. So open yourself to your tribe not being from your blood family.
Okay.
And if you're comfortable with it, your tribe might not look like you, because I've got some real light-skinned folks in my tribe. They don't look like me. They're not, they're not of African descent, but they are my tribe. They're energetically, there's some connection to them.
Okay,
So I
appreciate that one. I feel that kind of resonates with me. I feel like maybe that's the direction that I need to start moving in.
Yay.
Appreciate that.
And I
Yeah.
think, who else did I see in this room here? Oh, they popped into a different room. Shawnee, is there something you wanted to share while we still have time in this breakout?
Um, I'm just taking it all in, really, and just really grateful for the conversation. I have big games. When we do our Rites of Passage program, the leaders always declare big games, things that we're going to do. And we may not be clear about what it is, like what it will take to get there, but we know that we want to declare it, and absolutely accountability. Partners are part of that process. We put it all on an Excel doc so everyone can see, and then we check in on progress. There's absolute structures for it. And one of the things that I really, really wanted to make sure happen is, like, whether you're leading or not, like I lead the program, I can easily be like, oh, they're doing these activities, I'm over here, but I need to be in it too. So my role, so what? I, design the program, direct the program. I must have the same level of accountability that I'm asking others to have, and also share openly and honestly about where I'm out of integrity, what I'm afraid of, what I'm joyful about, like really being authentic, which I call rigorous honesty about my journey.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for that. I definitely feel a kindred spirit with that. And so is there anything that you need support with from that list and us? Because I know Veronica is going to try to find her tribe. She knows what she's, she found something that resonate with you. How can we support you in creating this little accountability circle of me, Shawnee, and Veronica?
Yeah. So for me, the vision for this is really about succession, Dionne, meaning, Shmani's death, and I'm sure you can relate to this based on your own daughter, really got me profoundly connected to how I'm living my life right now. And then succession. If something happened to me tomorrow, because she unexpectedly passed, would this work with Spirit of a Woman carry on? And I can't definitively say yes. That there's nobody who's I train and develop a lot of people, they grow, but who could step in? And I have, another daughter and a son. My son is absolutely not going to lead Spirit of a Woman. And my daughter has her own life and vision for her life. So I'm like, who are you preparing to take this over if something happens to you? And it's so necessary for me to be in partnership with others to help me make sure that I have this legacy continues.
Ashe, that's beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that, because I love the concept and even thinking to myself about that for certain things. And that brings up a really good point that's on my list. It's a top list. And I actually brought it up with my family just on Sunday, that I wanted us to play. And something I said in playing and planning, that does everybody have their will? Does everybody have their papers in order? And I know the answer is no. And my mother's fighting me on it. She's over 70, she's in great health, but she's fighting me on it. So when you talk about succession planning, even in paperwork, having certain documentation and stuff like that, because she is fighting me on it. My partner is fighting me on it. And I'm like, and he's an attorney. So I'm like, wait, but I worked hard to have a home. So for you, it's Spirit of Woman. So I have the physical home that I'm in, and things go into estate, and there's all these challenges. So that's one of my things on the list for the year. So Sister Veronica has things that she wants to do for Christmas as a vendor. So by the end of the year, my goal is to at least have me, my mom, and my partner to have wills, even if they're sloppy and things change. So I'm hoping for you, Shawnee, that you have a vision, or it comes to you in this planning of who that person is, or a team of people, a board, as it were. And even sometimes I try to think of who's the board of directors in my life. It does seem to change. Who are the board of directors? Who are those people that will ride with you? I'm definitely, since we like life, Shawnee, we don't do the ride or die, ride for life. They're gonna ride her for life. We riding together. We on these horses. We in the sandbox playing together for life. And how are we gonna move forward? Kenyofu, I didn't give you an opportunity to share. I don't know if you want to. You don't have to.
We have 4 seconds.
Huh?
We have 4 seconds left. I don't mind sharing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love that part too. So I'm gonna be looking at it as I see the numbers pop up, because I love seeing the numbers go up. Yep, there they go. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, in my mind, I think of popcorn.
Mhm.
Welcome back, Jaleesa. All of a sudden, things are like, boop, 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 boop. People are popping in. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. What show was that? Cotter? Welcome back, Cotter.
Oh yeah, we telling our age now.
Look, everybody's just as old as I am. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
I'm older than you. Thank you very much.
And looking good too. So
63 and free.
So I do see by my clock, it's about 6 minutes to 8. So if there is someone in this space on Zoom that does need to leave and would like to share from that group, I would welcome that opportunity. And if all of you are staying, that's great too. But I would love to have a voice come into the space about the breakout room, playing in the sandbox with a couple of other people, what came up and what resonated with you. So who wants to pop off mute and share?
I'll do it.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I was gonna say, I'm gonna sip my coffee and wait. Go ahead.
Okay. No, it was very interesting. It was serendipitous, if I could say that correctly. Kenyofu, I don't know, you got some kind of sixth sense or something, but she put me together with Sweetness and Martine. We're all working on writing projects. Amazing. And one person needs computer support. Another person just wants us to hold her to her deadline with a great idea. And I need the same thing. I need accountability because I'm all over the place. So I'm trying to focus my schedule of writing so that I can get things done in a certain time because I'm running out of time actually in my program. So what we need to do, and we didn't get a chance to do that because we popped back into the breakout room, is we're going to exchange numbers so that we can help each other out. And thank you for that. Thank you, Kenyofu.
Yay. Kenyofu's kind of magical with those groups. I don't know how she does it. You're right.
I don't know how she does what she does.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Zoom. You got to thank Zoom for this one.
Well, you know what? All of us on Zoom over this past year and a half, we've given her a spirit, and the spirit of Zoom, you know, spirit works through us, through technology to bring us together, same as in Wake Up Everybody. So thank you for that, Jacqueline. I'm looking forward to y'all connecting. Go use the chat and share information. So it is now, I have 4 minutes to 8. So I am hoping that someone can share my contact information if in fact that you are leaving to go off to work or wherever it is that you have to go for your day. I'm wishing you on Facebook and here in Zoom an awesome, blessed, productive day with ease. One thing I will leave with you that I'll say again, but just in case you're leaving, since so much of the overwhelm and overcommitment comes from how you want to show up with and for others, think about how you show up for yourself. Think about who your inner child is and how you can acknowledge your inner child and how old he or she is and what it is they need. So you're working in partnership with them, which means you're working in partnership with yourself. And I also want to offer to you, if you don't do anything in a given day but rest, that is okay. You have permission, because sometimes we need to have permission from someone outside of ourselves. You have permission to rest. If you start following the sister, the Nap Ministry, she has beautiful insights and sharing on the importance of rest. And I even went into, there was a class that I took at one point that helped us understand in terms of genders, you know, not speaking from a non-binary sense, men and women create energy in different ways. And sometimes for men, when women would be upset that they're sitting down doing nothing, they're building testosterone physically in their body, that they have stillness and quiet time and rest that allows their body to build testosterone. So there is importance in rest. There is science that is important in rest. And your value as a human is not attached to your productivity. You are important because you are important. And we are also taking in that reframe that we don't have deadlines, we have lifelines. And I'll repeat it again so you can say it to yourself. Saying yes to others can often be saying no to self. So I invite you to say, let me think about that. I'll get back to you. And you will feel empowered when you come back to them. And sometimes, let me tell you this at 7:59, sometimes those people, they figure out how to do it without you when you say, let me think about it. Go figure. Just by you not saying yes, you empower them to be resourceful. So have an amazing and awesome day. My information is in the chat. I look forward to hearing from you. If you are popping off, create a glorious and magnificent day with ease. So jumping back into the sandbox with those of you that can stay with us here on Facebook and in Zoom. If there are more people that want to share what came up from their group, I would love to hear from you. Oh, I see a hand up. So Zakia.
Yes, I just wanted to. No, not right now. I was just invited to share my video. Not today.
It's all right, girl.
All right. So I was I was in the room with Jaleesa and Adam, but Adam was absent. So he was up there, but he never came off mute, which is
that's why we did 3 people. So if somebody wasn't present, you still had somebody in the sandbox. We were ready for that. Go ahead, girl. What happened?
But it's very un-Adam. So I must ask him what was up, what he was doing. It was more important than us. You know? But anyway, I have something that I have to work on now. I've been procrastinating about it over and over and over and over again. And the sooner I get it done, the sooner I make life easier for myself. So it's occurred to me that it's the inner child that's not being addressed that's causing it. You know, so my deadline is Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's also my deadline for my month and a half late report to you. Okay, I'm complete.
Thank you for sharing that, Zakia. And in terms of what you were going to share with me from our coaching session, I will say to you, things show up at the right time. Like there's something I agreed to, and when in terms of finances, I agreed to do something with someone and they were like, I should be able to pay you by this time. And then there's somebody else that said, you know, here's a deal, but you're not going to get paid for 5 or 6 weeks. And I was like, you know what, when that money shows up, it's going to be exactly when I need it. So, and you can always renegotiate. Well, I shouldn't say always, quite often you can renegotiate deadlines or lifelines as we've reframed them. So you can decide for yourself, am I going to do this? You can come back to even your coach and me and say, you know what? I know I said I was going to do that, but I didn't really assess well what was going to do. So you don't feel like you're overwhelmed. Let's negotiate a new date by which I will give you this information that makes you feel better, because I'm complete either way. But thank you for acknowledging that. I see a couple more hands. I think Stacy was the next one that I saw.
Grand Rising Queen, how are you this morning?
Awesome.
Great. Yes, so in the breakout room, it was 4 of us. So what I do want to say, because we at the end were saying, well, how we will be accountable to one another. It was me, Mama Amal, Sharice, and Lorna. So, and Amal, so I might have, so when you said, so she's going to be my partner, so that means I automatically, I guess, can be yours, because then I said, I'll be Lorna's, and then Sharice doesn't have one. So, and I know Sharice did say that she's kind of like does things on her own. So I'm just want to make that clear then, group, that me and Amal can be each other's accountability. And then Sharice and Lorna, since we were in the group together just now, that, you know, that maybe you guys can check in or, you know, just put each other's number directly to one another. So that this way we make it happen, we manifest it. by the dates that we said. So I just want to get that out there. And thank you. I'm still thinking about what age the inner child is, because I was in the living room, which was what I call Facebook, the living room. I came in the house. I'm in the living room now. I was on the porch. So now that I'm in and I heard you saying it. So when are we thinking of the age of our inner child who may be blocking this particular thing from manifesting, or you just mean the inner child period? Because I know I have a couple, so I'm just
it's different for you. It could be either one, but the one I always come back to, I felt like I was an adult by 16, but I'm Aries, so some of us, if you love the signs, we come out, like Sweetness says, old people. But it's up to you. Like the one that always comes up for me is the 5-year-old. Because I have a vision of myself. When I find this picture, I'm gonna put it in the Facebook group so you can see it. But in my head, there's this picture, the old pictures with the white frame on it on the outside, where he's standing there. So it's me in my little pink coat and my hat and my undershirt on and my shoes and my socks, or one sock at the door. And my mother said my line was, "Mommy won't go outside. Won't go outside, mommy. Mommy won't go outside. Mommy won't go outside." So that little toddler's there too, where it's like, why I gotta do this? And even as I keep wiggling here while I'm talking to you, that's that energy of like, can't we get up? Like, oh, I gotta figure out how we could do this and stand up and talk. I've been still for a long time. I need to move. So there may be a couple. So if I had to pick a couple, it wouldn't be older. It'd be the toddler and the 5-year-old.
Well, but what I heard when I was sharing with them, I kept seeing the number 5 pop in my head. It was like 5. I think this is your 5-year-old, 5. And I was like, so maybe I'm even right there. This is great, because maybe not even acknowledging her in the space just now when it came to me, like, girl, I said 5, like you still asking Dionne right now, like who it could be. So let me acknowledge her and speak to her today and give her some love. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You can find her picture and see who she is. And
I got her picture. I got 2 pigtails with her pink and blue flower dress. I'm gonna even put on the flower dress and do my work. Ooh,
oh my goodness. I hope people start putting them pictures in Facebook. I would love to see these pictures in the comments of who your inner child looks like. I have to see where mine is. I'm gonna owe that to y'all. I'm gonna have to send that to you. All right. Thank you for that, Stacey Yogisha McLean. Okay, I see Sweetness hand up.
Are you there?
Sweetness, I saw your hand up. Did you want to say something, love? You can take yourself off mute if you're still there.
Oh, you called on me. My apologies.
No worries.
That hardly ever happens that my phone rings while I'm on Zoom.
Uh-huh.
So what did I want to say? Yeah, the inner child, I don't know what age she is. I'm thinking something is wrong with me, because oftentimes I'm in groups and everybody knows how old they were.
Wait, I'm gonna pause right there. We're gonna stop.
All right.
There is nothing wrong with you. So
thank you.
We're not even gonna let you go any further with that one.
Okay, I didn't think you would. All right, so
so we're gonna say, here's what you do, and I'm gonna give this to everybody right now. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. If you even think something negative about yourself, you say cancel. You just cancel it out. I got that one from Jack Canfield. You say cancel, and then you replace it with something. So you can be so blessed that you don't have an inner child. Like maybe your inner child, you done fed that child so good that she's, you came out grown and your inner child is fine. But there's definitely nothing wrong with you. You go ahead.
So what I was observing when you were talking about talking to yourself, I'm by myself most of the time. And so I have to talk to myself. And what I discovered, Shawnee, was that I'm like the police of everything. Soon as I walk out the door, the street is dirty. I go to my car. I'm the police of everything. By the time I get to where I'm going, I am so exhausted. I've criticized the homeless person sitting by the precinct. OMG, I am so tired. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I observed that about myself. And then, so what I said to Shawnee, I shared with Shawnee a picture of me. I thought it was a really cute picture of me looking like my father, because my father just recently passed. And so I had a photo of him and I shared it with Shawnee. And I couldn't fix the picture to be on Facebook because I'm a little challenged with the technology. However, I was just I was impressed with the little girl in the picture, but I didn't see that she needed something. And what I said to Shawnee, because Shawnee asked me, what does she need? I think she asked me something like that. And I said, she would like to be spoken to nicely. So most of the memory I have in my head, people speaking to me is hard, it's harsh, it's critical. And that's what I noticed I'm doing with everything in my space. I'm criticizing, I'm judging. I'm like, oh, wow.
I love that. Thank you.
I am exhausted because I discovered it yesterday. It's like,
that makes sense that you were called sweetness, and what you're calling forth in life, even if you don't see it all the time, is sweetness. You want
but that's when people ask me, that your mother named you that? And so I say, no, my mother didn't have the sense to name me that. God, no, and I no, nothing taken from her. I love her, but she didn't have much sense then. So, but no, God gave me that name, is how I explain it, is because I am to live into that name. So I can't be ugly, because so my husband used to say when I was ugly, he'd say, sweetness. So, that would rein me back in. And so I accepted the name because I do want to live a joyful, abundant life and extend love to people and perfect the love that I give. So yes, I've accepted that name, and I know that that's why God gave it to me. However, I wasn't connecting that the little
I am
child.
going to interject sweetness, because what I'm hearing from you, and we have spoken before, and just sharing with everyone, some of you have heard me talk about my grandmother, and I love hashtags, hashtag queen, going, hard candy is still sweet. So there's a way that we address things that seem hard or harsh, and love comes in all forms. So when your mother or whoever the parent figure was in your life, it was my grandmother and my mother, and there was a certain harshness that came from my grandmother, but I learned that it was love. And in her harshness, where it was always, I tell you, she's like, girl, you're too fat. Ain't nobody gonna want you. You got 2 children, don't get no more, ain't a man gonna want you. It was always, something for a man. So you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too this, you're too that, but she loved me. And sometimes people that love you will not acknowledge the elephant in the room. So I want to call out to you. Yes, Jacqueline, the island folks, St. Thomas. So sweetness, you and seeing things that can be better are calling forth someone's or their greatness. So you can see possibility and future in these things and how they can improve. And even though it makes you tired, you can pause and say, and give it a if. So it's like, that homeless person could make more money begging if they had a better sign and didn't smell. I don't know, I'm making it up. But you see how you laughed, and it softens everything. Laughter is bae. So you and laugh at yourself. It's like, girl, just how you said, it's like, you're making yourself tired. You look in the mirror. So if your inner child is your adult self, you can look at sweetness and say, sweetness, you're gonna have to leave that person alone. That homeless person is doing the best that they can right now. Like, all right, sweetness. So literally, I will have a conversation, just how I'm doing, like, Dionne, I'm gonna need you to be quiet right now. I'm talking to these people over here. All right. So you can talk to sweetness, and sweetness, maybe it's not an inner child. So just acknowledging that as it is to make yourself less tired. And I saw in the chat, a few people said they want to see that picture. We're gonna have to figure out these pictures, girl. You're gonna have to email it to me. You're gonna take a picture and text it to me, and I'll get it up on the Facebooks for you. But thank you for sharing that.
No, thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah, because you're seeing what can be improved is your way of loving. And that was definitely my grandmother's way of loving. You need to clean. Drove my sister crazy. She would be in tears. She'd tell me something. I'm like, okay. While she just cut me into shreds, she was really just saying, I love you. You're too fat. Why your hair look like so? You can't fix it? Why you let you? And then, oh, parenting. Oh my goodness. How you let a boy hair look like so? Why he don't cut his hair? And I'm like, grandma, his hair is fine. No, it's too messy. What do you mean it look all right? He's got that big messy fro that comes out like this. If he was in the picture, his afro is like this. Drove my grandmother crazy. And I'm like, he fine, he all right. It's clean. So yeah, I see a lot in the chat, and I also, oh, there was another hand up. I guess they took it down. Did every group share? I just want to make sure all of you had the opportunity to share, because I think there were a few more groups. Oh, hang on one second, Teresa. Before I call on you again, is there any, were you in a group, Abimbola? And
Yes, this is Terry. She was in the group with us, me and Rael. And yes, thanks to Kenyofu, we were a perfect pair. We both were talking about the fact that we were over responsible parentified children, and that we're working on the art of play and not a form of laziness. And I shared that right now I'm in the process of cleaning out my house. I've been here more than 35 years. And it's funny because I was like a real, like Rael said, type A personality. Everything had to be in place. I was like a little dictator around here. And now my house is my play box. It's like so messy in here. I can't even believe that I'm in here. But as I'm trashing it, but there's a sense of comfort in the fact that I'm learning to reflect. My home is my sandbox right now.
oh, that is awesome, Terry. Thank you so much for sharing that and bringing your voice into the space. I love it when we hear new voices. No shade, Teresa. We're going to hold off to make sure I get all these groups in here. So you hold on. See if you can type it in the chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, Teresa might be raising her hand to represent room 6. I realized they didn't share. And
Room
also,
six.
room 4 is Althea, Kaisha, and Tracy Ann. No one shared from that group.
All right. So who's going to share from Kaisha's group?
Hi, good morning. I'll share.
Thank you, Kaisha.
It was myself, Althea, and Daniel Soto. I'm not sure if he's still on right now. Daniel, okay. So he, it was our first time seeing him in the space, even though he said that he was part of the group a few other times. But he did share his ways of not feeling overwhelmed. And he did speak on how he decompresses in the evening, and how he tries to change his mind and think of other things that that have nothing to do with him, he says. And then in the morning, he showed us where he's a teacher. I believe he might be a dance teacher, but he does dance. You know, he does dance, and he did show where he was waiting on his school to start. So that's what he does in the morning to decompress, is kind of focus on other things other than his to-do list. I spoke about my to-do list and how not to feel overwhelmed, even though I'm adding to my to-do list from yesterday. And then the question was, what do I do if I don't complete the to-do list and it just rolls and not answer it? It just rolls into the next day, or at the end of the day, I write down what I didn't accomplish so that that could be at the top of the list, the next day. Then Althea spoke about deadlines, making deadlines, and even setting false deadlines for herself. However, like Jacqueline said earlier, she knows that they're false, but she did speak on projects that she's working on, and it's always in the back. It's always on her mind that she has to get those projects accomplished. And then we talked about accountability partners. whether we have them or not. So she spoke on her friends, just putting nuggets in, in her ear. I don't think
That sounds good, Kaisha. Did from that sharing, did each of you get to a sense of completeness, or is there any accountability that each of you had with each other?
No.
Okay.
I just think it was just something that we were just getting to know about the other.
That's good. Thank you so much for that, Kaisha. Now,
You're welcome.
Kinyofu, you were clear on who else didn't share, because I know Teresa wanted to share and Sweetness wanted to share. Did we get all of the groups?
Afriya, we can ask Afriya to share for room 6.
Okay. Is she still here?
She's here.
Okay. Would you be able to?
Here.
Oh, thank you. Would you be able to share from your group?
I would prefer for Mama Teresa to share for our group.
Okay.
Can I jump in here a sec? I don't want to take up too much time. So I'm listening to Dionne's, everything that she shared today, and I also heard what Teresa said, and I'm gonna make a power move here. I'm gonna ask Afriye if you can share, because Teresa, I feel like the sandbox play includes just chilling and receiving. Sometimes you're just in the sand, just laying, throwing sand around, just doing whatever. You be working hard up in here. And I'm like, let Afriye share. You don't have to share what y'all shared in the group, but Afriye, no force. I'm just utilizing this as an opportunity to have Teresa just hear and receive, and then you hold space for her, because sometimes, that's what the need is, so that we can actually manifest the lifelines that we want to manifest. So, Afriye, you can say no. It's about consent, not force.
Thank you, but no thank you.
All right, got that. All right, so I guess we back to Teresa.
I want to share about them. They had such powerful shares.
And who was the other person, Teresa? You said it was you, Afriye, and who?
I was in a room with Zaria, and I was in a room with Afriye.
Afriye. Okay.
And they both Zaria was explaining that she had a big production that she had to do, but because the gentleman was not making her feel comfortable, she canceled it. And I was like, girl, you got some balls, you are powerful. And so that just gave me such an empowerment as an older woman to say, hey girl, you could do that too, so it's like they just empowered me. And then Alfred was saying that she doesn't feel stressed because she's home at work. And so I just wanted to encourage people who's having problems, staying at home and working, that there is some freedom in being at home working. So, maybe some of us could consider, like enjoying being at home working and not seeing it as a stress. And I'm complete, y'all. That's all I want to say.
Thank you for sharing on behalf of your group. Yes. Before I come to you, Sweetness, I'm a double check with Kinyofu. Did we get all of the groups this time?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sweetness, go for it, because I see it's bubbling up. It's like inching to come out. What is it?
Thank you. So Sunday I was with Zoom and the Week family, and we were talking about finances. Well, that's what I received. And so I'm so new with finances, right? So I thought that because I paid Optimum, I don't never have to pay him again. And I didn't pay them. So last night when I came in the house, there was no TV and internet service. And I was so tired, right? So I went to bed and I wake up. So let me tell you, my body wakes up when it's supposed to. Haven't had an alarm clock in maybe 21 years. So I got up at 6:09. And I was like, okay, no, you could lay down for a minute. I could have done my exercise, however, I didn't. I'll get better. So at 7:08, I run to the computer to get on Zoom because I know you're going to be there and that's where I want to be. And it's no internet service. And it's because you did not pay Optimum. It's because you didn't write down that when you paid them. I'm on the phone like, I paid y'all. And so I'm asking them to tell me when I paid them. And it's like, come on. So I'm saying, who was helping me grow up, even though I don't know how old I am, how old the inner child is. Clearly, I'm not a functioning adult and responsible. So I learned the extremely valuable lesson, and I wrote it down, that I paid them today, and the next time I gotta pay them will be like next month this time. Duh. And so you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to say that's why I was very late. And I'm glad this is recorded, so I'll see what I missed. But the lesson that I learned this morning from Optimum and Sunday, being exposed to living in
But go ahead. What I'm hearing, and I just want to make this apparent for if you're not aware that she lost her partner, that we're still at every age have the opportunity to learn. And at every age, like you said, you didn't know about finances, but you're learning. And it's like, and being able, just the fact that you were able to laugh at yourself and said, "Ooh, girl, I ain't pay that bill. I don't know what happened." And then you figured it out. And how resourceful are you? So I want to help you see that blessing. Some of us are talking about being overwhelmed and reframing that being overwhelmed and overcommitted. There are so many blessings that you have to manage. And even though they are challenging, you are managing these blessings. And look at this sweetness, you had the money to pay the bill. It wasn't that it was cut off because you didn't have the money. That's a blessing that you even had the money to pay the bill. So the fact that you're in this process of learning, and we honor the loss that you have, but it has given you the opportunity to grow into this space, and you are up to the challenge and you are doing it. So thank you for sharing that. I did see it pop up in the chat, and I love seeing you laugh about it with yourself. And yeah, I'm gonna share with you something that I learned. There's a show on BET called The Miss Pat Show, and she does have a book out. I forget the name of her book. The name of her book is Rabbit. And in the Miss Pat Show, it's on BET, and I watched the whole season. I didn't know, because I don't watch TV, that when something comes out on BET or any of these Netflix or whatnot, the whole season comes out. So I was like, why is this still, episode finished, another one's, why is there another one coming on? This show just came out. Why are all these shows on? And my partner, Roger's like, that's how they come out. I'm like, how do I know that? I don't watch anything. So I don't know. Oh, girl, sweetness. You know how we saw it? We got the trial. Watched the whole thing and canceled the trial, girl. That's what we did. So, but I do see another hand raised. So, and I do want to acknowledge that it is 8:26, and I know Veronica was in the group with me. We played in the sandbox here in the main room. So I'm so glad you raised your hand, Veronica, so you could share. And then I'm going to close out.
Okay, so what I learned in our group is that we're all looking for this line of succession, or if we do go, who are we leaving it to? And it doesn't have to be a family member or even a friend. It could be somebody who's responsible enough to keep our vision alive. Mm-hmm. And we all have a vision. And that is what I got, that, Shawnee has a vision. I have a vision. Your vision is for your family. And it doesn't matter who gets that vision accomplished.
Ashe.
And it was very powerful for me. It seemed quiet and simple, but it was powerful. And the other thing I got this morning was from Sweetness. And I realized that I love to laugh. And the Sweetness makes me laugh.
Aww.
And I appreciate her eyes. I just so appreciate her honesty and her simplicity and how she brings across her message, but it makes me laugh. And I thank her for that.
Aww.
And one last thing, Shawnee, I can't remember your name, terrible, but I have a to-go bag. And I'd like to do a half an hour on the to-go bag because it's about creating a will and all the things that you need. And that's something that needs to be done. Thank you.
I love that you call it a to-go bag.
I have it. I can show it to you. It's powerful.
Look, I'm here for it, and it's been one of those, once I record it, when I have people, because I do a Sunday dinner once a month in my home for my family, and this was a big thing for me this past Sunday, that I went and danced all day in the park with Reverend Nafisa here in Central Park, and I said, we're still gonna have it. I'm not cooking a thing. I'm not lifting a finger. Y'all could order food. I am going to unlock the door. And they came in and I was on the couch with my feet up and they ordered food. But I did talk to them about that to-go bag. So I am here for that presentation. I'm sure Shawnee will hook you up with the right person to get dates and make that happen. And
Yes.
then once it happens, because my family ain't gonna watch it at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're gonna watch it on record on my laptop, hooked up to the TV in my living room. We're gonna force everybody to listen to this. So I look forward to hearing about that. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks for your session. It worked.
Thank you.
It created this. Thank you.
Ashe.
Okay.
So I'm really happy with the creation. And before we close out, so I will just beg for you, if you have the time, to give me another 5 minutes to make sure we just sum up what we're looking at. Creating how to create space for you in a chaotic environment is breaking it down into bite-sized chunks, creating accountability if that supports you, planning, because success requires planning, having a level of self-awareness to know what you need, whether that's sleep or food. And even in the self-awareness, the big thing that I brought up for all of us was acknowledging the inner child, because she's the one that runs my life. She has to go play and she lets things go. You know, I did see, I'm not going to call out, because I am friends with a number of you in the chat here. And I saw one person this weekend and they said to me, you know, you just let things go. And I think so much of that is my inner child, the 5-year-old. I know of adults holding on to things and holding on to grudges. So something will happen and she's like, oh yeah, so-and-so. I was like, what are you talking about? She goes, you already moved on. Like you just moved on. And I was like, what was it? So I don't even know what it is. So if I was like, if I'm supposed to be mad at you, Veronica, you're going to have to tell me what I'm supposed to be mad at, because I done forgot about it. You know, it's too heavy, too much weight. And then what was the last thing? Boundaries. Boundaries. Saying no to others is saying yes to yourself. Oh, okay. Somebody said, who said that? Jacqueline said, someone please write that list. I will try to type it in the chat when the slides move on, so you'll have it later. So that is my summary. And I do have an offer to give you. So I will ask Kenyofu to bring that up. And thank all of you for staying until the end. You have been amazing. I love all the participation that we have. And I really always love working with each of you. So again, I am offering 4 complimentary breakthrough sessions. But what I do differently is that it's the first 4 people who schedule time. And this is an offer that is limited to people that have not had a session. So, but you've got to click the link that the beautiful Charmaine has just put in the chat. So whether you're on the phone or you're on the laptop, you can click. And once you click that and schedule, it will send me an email. And of course, the email will have a timestamp on it. So I will know who the first 4 people are. And I would ask again, if I have had the blessings to have sessions with a number of you, and I am thankful for those, but if you have not, once you click on it, it takes you to my calendar and you schedule time. You'll decide if you're going to do a Zoom session or give me a phone call, and I will send you a follow-up email before the date and time that you pick. So get yourself in there, and then we will have a breakthrough session to make some more magic happen on a personal level for you. And then moving on. My contact information was in the chat. I will tell you, I am not really good about phone calls. I make myself call people, but I will respond to a text with a quickness. So that is my phone number. And that is how you can find me on Facebook, my business page, Dionne Monsanto Enjoy. On Instagram, I really live on Instagram a great deal. My email address, as well as the website. I do have a formal website, but I always refer people to my link tree, because when you go to it, the first thing you will see is that you could have registered for this talk. So on a website, which I have, you have to hunt and peck to find things. I like Linktree because everything's in one list. Scheduling time with me, when am I teaching yoga, when am I speaking, my website, where my LinkedIn is, everything's there. So this is all the information for finding me in real life, IRL, and on social media. And here we are with our love offerings and donations. Money, my own, oh man, my own, and I know it's energy yield. What's the N?
Natural.
Natural, my own natural energy yield. So I love that. I love acronyms and framing it in that way. So you can Zelle or quick pay Soul Leadership, Spirit of a Woman, Soul Leadership Development at Gmail. You can Cash App Spirit of a Woman and use the code hashtag 403DM. We have a phenomenal team and they are really, really expert in making this come off smooth. There are a lot of moving parts and giving from your heart. I loved when I was on last week and Shawnee brought in again, whatever you give, you know, whether it's $5, you know, on Cash App, $1, it's the collective coming together. When someone says, I really don't have anything to give, when everybody gives $1, you know, there's 1 million people, it makes $1 million. There's 27 people, it makes $27, makes $2 each, it's $50. Together, we build and we share. And sharing our energy is a beautiful thing to have happen and having our money in circulation to support this. There's a lot to support to make this happen. So thank you for being here and thank you for giving from your heart what you can. Oh, good stuff coming up. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 1st, people, day 404, the 7 pillars of purposeful online dating and a hypotheses. And it's going to be facilitated by Martine Malivers. So I hope you are able to attend that. And then on Thursday, the wonderful Jean-Carl, energy bending. So you have, that's what's up on the agenda for the next couple of days. Hopefully you will join in. And then I will pass the baton.
Thank you, Dionne. So I'm wondering if there are any new members out there. If there are, that's lovely. I'm excited for you. Please drop your name in the chat so that all the rest of Wake Up Everybody can be excited for you and welcome you into the space. This is both if you're in Zoom as well as Facebook and whatever, and you're defining whatever new means to you. So maybe you've been living out there in Facebook on the porch and you've decided to come inside. This is your first day in Zoom. That's your first day. Please write that in the chat. Okay, so you come into the Zoom space on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday for the full days, 7 to 8:30, and on Monday and Wednesday for the short day from 7 to 7:30. We're always streaming live on Facebook. So if you on the porch, you know that. And so if you're, and you can also catch the replays if you're interested in that. So in any event, you can get your message to join Wake Up Everybody on text if you sign up. And you can sign up by opening up your text right now, typing in 74121 in the to section, and in the comment section, type Woo Nation and press send, and you will then be on the automated email list. I'm sorry, automated text list. And we have swag, masks, mugs, thermoses, t-shirts, sweatshirts. You can get yours today at bit.ly/Woo Swag. We need you to register every week. Registering every week gets you the email sent to your address with information that you need to know to join us. It will be the Zoom link, and it will be the facilitator, and it will be who they are, what they have done in life, and it would be the presentation. And anything else that comes up that we feel is necessary to share with you in that e-blast. We have a Facebook community. We have both a public one and a private one. This link here is for the private Facebook group, and the group is bit.ly/Woo Community. You type that into your browser, and then you will answer or agree to the the rules for the group, and then you'll be a part of the group where you can catch the replays and communicate with your community. We are on Instagram and YouTube, still developing that out, and we have an email address that you can send us whatever it is that you share, some thoughts and comments. And right now, we are complete with slides, and I'm going to ask you all to unmute yourself so that we can give Dionne a love shower for this great presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you.
Dion. Thank
Please,
you.
Dion.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was
Wanted
wonderful.
to see
Absolutely
your
wonderful.
glow
Fun.
Thank
the
you.
inside
Fun.
that
Always.
exudes.
Smelling. A
Thank
lot
you,
of
Dion.
Thank
flowers.
you.
I love that around here.
Really appreciate
Beautiful.
you.
Now we can
Okay,
do
thank you.
and that's
Yes.
Thank you,
coaching.
Tio.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Looking forward
Connie.
to doing some yoga with you in the park soon. We're gonna go meet in the park.
Thank you all the admin
So
team. I
peace
love
and
y'all.
love
Thank
and
you,
namaste.
everyone.
Joy
Thank
and
you.
happiness.
Input. Thank you,
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
everyone.
you. Everybody go to Cash App
Bye.
right now and take 1 second.
I love the way y'all
Give,
look.
give, give.
Love
It is
y'all.
in
Love
giving
y'all.
that we receive. Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you.
Ashe.
Yes.
Amen. Ashe. Thank
Love
you.
y'all.